Hey, fellow slicers, it's Kimosabi here, giving you an exclusive thing that I've noticed on the charts that I haven't shared anywhere, but I figured I'd share it on Slice here to give it a little additional value. I'm on the daily chart on Bitcoin. This is one of those charts that has all of the history. It's like an index that shows all the history, and I want to bring things back to 2018. So this 2018 seemingly is a very important part of the entire Bitcoin cycle. It seems to be like a midpoint or something like that, based on some weird things that I've found. So what I'm going to do is take a trend-based time fib, and I'm going to check the Fibonacci time relationship, basically using the one-to-one. And I'm going to anchor at the 15th of June in 2018. So now I have that as my reference point, and what comes after is every time I move this backwards in time, the other line moves forward in time. So as we can see, the peak in 2017 correlates with the bottom in 2018. So this is like a type of Gann analysis where tops predict bottoms, bottoms predict tops, and we can continue this throughout the entire cycle of Bitcoin. And you have tops that are predicted, these tops predict those, and so on, and they go inversely. So let's zoom out to say a 2-day chart or a 3-day chart, just to further illustrate this. On the 3-day chart, you had your bear market low in August 2015, looks to correspond with the 2021 top, but that's not all. The very next bottom coordinates with the very next peak. So those two are matching in time with where those landed. Pretty eerily similar. And then you go to that peak in 2013, December 2013. Just so happens to correspond with the lows of 2022. I found extremely interesting. And now if we take it out into the future and we take the peak of November of 2011 and see where the line lines up, it lines up with the current peak. So now if this is to remain true, if this pattern keeps playing out, this high over here should predict a bottom in the future. This is Gann's style of analysis. This is kind of what he did. And let's see where that lines up. 18th of June currently. There's different ways to look at this on a daily chart. It actually lines up really nicely with the 6th of June. So let's do a comparison. We'll do this up and down. We'll have two charts here. All right, we have the comparison chart. On the bottom, we have 2012 on the Bitcoin price, and up top, we have the current Bitcoin price. And we'll just continue the same thing as I move this bottom one in forward in time. The one on top goes backward in time. So we had a peak there that marked a low. The peak on the bottom marked the low on the top chart. And then the bottom one marks that low, marks the consolidation into a low, another low, into a high, and then another subsequent high. So the lows are marking highs and the highs are marking lows. If we move forward into the future, that puts us at, let's check the timing, the 6th to the 8th area of June. And then what comes after, who knows? but could be the timing could say that we're going to do this in reverse for quite a while. I mean, the time frame of this would lead you all the way till 2026. So this is June 11th, and this is the whole 12 months of that. So it could be a choppy upside for 12 months from June to June. That would be very strange to play with the cycles like that. You'd essentially be running into the next cycle on Bitcoin, which from a cycle standpoint, from the 4-year cycle standpoint, it's not going to make sense unless if the current Bitcoin price kind of goes up for a while, finds a cycle low early 2026, pops up, finds another cycle low at the end of 2026, and then left translates into 2027. So that may make it so that this current Bitcoin cycle that we're on doesn't actually find a peak in this 4-year cycle. That's the way it'll kind of appear. There will be a cycle low, but the ultimate peak of this impulse up doesn't come until the next 4-year cycle, and it'll be a left translated cycle. That's kind of what I'm looking at. It's kind of mind bending to see these things play out, but needless to say, we're seeing opportunities come in early June that could be like your last chance to get in there. That's kind of what I'm looking. We may have a very strong capitulatory move down into there. It could start from our current area, or we could take liquidity above and then look to June, and it can come very, very deep, especially if this Elliott wave pattern is the impulse down, and this is just an ABC up. You may come down and break the lows and just find support on this downward sloping trend line or something like that, and that may be the spot. And it'll look like the 4-year cycle is over. You may have many that are getting out. Many say, bull trap, just like 2021, comes down here, and then something happens that just makes this thing go parabolic. You could also find support at previous supports, something to look forward to. But June 6th through the 8th, maybe that weekend, look for buying opportunities in time. See if this Gann tops predict bottoms, bottoms predict tops play out. So hope that was helpful, gave you some entertainment while we're waiting to either get stopped out or to have profits in our short-term trade here. Have a good day. Let me know what you guys think, and keep it to yourselves for now. I'm going to release it on YouTube probably next week, maybe as price starts coming down, to let people know. But this just gives you a heads up ahead of time, kind of what I'm looking at and the timing that I'm looking at. So Camel Finance is also looking in that time frame. So it all kinds of lines up for good things to come in the future. Cool. Later.